is now round 4 coverage of Friday Night Magic from Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. My name, as always, is Zachary Evans, and I'm joined tonight by Jordan Petio, and we are watching a matchup of Grixis decks. On the left, Chris Harless, who's playing, he told me about his deck earlier in the evening, and though I said it was Grixis Control, and he didn't immediately agree, it's clearly a Grixis Control deck. It has Nicol Bolas in it.
Okay.
His opponent, the local legend Adam Vickers, who for the last 2 weeks has gone undefeated with his own Grixis Control build, has audibled tonight, and is playing Grixis Delver with Duskmantle Seers. It's a deck list that he got off of a daily event from this week that did pretty well. So both of these players are 2-1. I know they play tested a little bit actually before the tournament tonight, and Chris said that his deck came out ahead. So I'm not sure if it was variance or if it was just too small a sample size or whatnot. But possibly the control deck usually has a pretty good matchup against Delver in this format, since the Delver decks now don't have access to Mana Leak.
With Duskmantle Seer, I can see some interesting things like if you flip a Nicol Bolas, that's a good chunk of your life.
Yeah, that is an interesting way to kill your opponent with your own Duskmantle Seer triggers. And while these are both Grixis decks, they are by no means the same deck. This is not a mirror of any stretch. As I send out my tweet to let everybody know where to come and watch them Magics.
Hashtag MTG.
Hashtag
YOLO.
Hashtag YOLO. Alright, so it looks like Chris is going back for more. Looks like Adam is pulling out his own playmat. You'll notice in the top left, you see that ink?
Is that where he wrote on his
That's
hat?
where from 2 weeks ago, Adam received Low Light of the Night honors by drawing on his own playmat.
He hit it too, didn't he?
He did not mean to do it. He meant to write on his life total pad.
But
Instead,
he was like, cover it up.
To which Garrett immediately said, at least it now matches all of the food stains. Which is funny because clearly there are food stains in the middle of it. That playmat's almost as old as you are, Jordan.
This game is as old as I am, Zach. Did you know that?
The tale as old as time. Yep, that's what happened. You tuned in to watch Magic, and then I sing a verse from Beauty and the Beast theme song.
Who are we kidding? They didn't come for the Magic.
I've been saying that for months. Turn 2 Delver from Adam, indicating that he just drew it. And then, both players on the same mana base here. I'm not sure what kind of... While the concepts of the Grixis Control deck are pretty obvious in terms of burn, counter magic, Nicol Bolas, removal of some sort, the specific breakdown of cards could be a variety of different things.
Yeah. So I like though that Grixis has access to Izzet Charm, Psychic Strike, Dissipate, Syncopate, Negate. They actually have a good counter.
The best removal in the format is in Grixis. That's not how that works. I mean, you can do it at the end of phase, but that's not how. Once you flip, the trigger's already happened. It doesn't matter because it's a Searing Spear. That's a promo Searing Spear, right?
Yeah.
So, but that is in fact how the rules of that works. It doesn't matter because Adam's going to counter it anyway, and he conveniently has
another one.
Izzet Charm up for the next removal spell. We did see Max Turner last week playing Blue-Green Delver win one game by just playing a Delver on turn 1 and 2, blind flipping them both, and never casting another spell. Oh, he did cast one Unsummon, I'm sorry, so... Sometimes Magic is as easy as just riding a Delver to victory in 3 formats. Also eating an Izzet Charm, and Chris missing his 4th land drop, which is pretty crucial in this matchup. Because it just turns all of those he's already burned through most of his Izzet Charms. I do know that the Izzet Charms are a change that Adam has made to the deck from the list that was online.
I like it.
I love Izzet Charm. It was Snapcaster Izzet Charm.
Brings back fond memories.
Well, I was going to say that the Chris missing lands makes those Izzet Charms so live, but the fact that he's run through 2 of them doesn't matter if you also are playing Snapcaster Mages. So Searing Spear, or no, Augur Bolus. I know Adam does have a Searing Spear in his hand, so Chris is dead next turn if he cannot remove one of the creatures. The fact he's burned through 3 removal spells is it's likely that he is. He does have a Snapcaster in his hand, but I don't think he has a second land to be able to snap anything back. Or a 4th land, I should say. Searing Spear, end of turn. Does it resolve? Adam has every counter spell. Snapcaster. Snapcaster with no flashback. And then Spear to win. Yeah.
Well, that's...
I believe, porting over a term from competitive poker, that is what the kids would refer to as the nuts. Riding your early... That's what Delver's all designed to do. Play an early threat, protect it, win off of tempo. You know what else is the nuts, Jordan? Winning some of our sweet rock, paper, scissors cards. Every week, we give away a playset of these fun cards from Unglued that you can use to start all of your games of Magic, not unlike a boss.
But if these nuts are in your hand, there's going to be a judge getting called.
Yikes.
What? That was not meant how I think you interpreted it.
How else could I have interpreted it?
You whatever.
I'm just giving you a hard time. But, all joking aside, we do this weekly giveaway. It's a fun little thing that we can give back to you guys for watching. So head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic, and look for the giveaway post, which was the most recent post that I made about an hour and a half ago. So the first step is to make sure you like our page to help spread the word about it, and also it will sign you up for, you'll start seeing all of our updates in the stream, in your news stream, I should say.
They're not just filler updates either.
And then look for that post, and then like, comment, or share that post. Each one is a separate entry. Then also, you can head over to my Twitter, twitter.com/ZachSellsMagic. And if you retweet that giveaway tweet, you also have a chance to win. Just make sure you're following me on Twitter and that you like our Facebook page to be eligible to win. And also make sure that you head over to our Facebook page, not only for daily content, which I cannot iterate enough, or cannot, what's the word I'm looking for? Which I cannot, I don't know. Words are failing me now, but I can't...
Can you use it in a sentence?
No, I can't. I'm trying desperately to use it in a sentence, and I'm failing miserably. But there is a lot of content on the Facebook page, both from myself, from other people here locally as well, from you guys around the world who watch the stream. But there's also interesting giveaways coming up next week. We've got one of our faithful viewers, Allie Browning, coming in and bringing a lot of cool stuff to give away, both to players in the store and players on the stream. So for more information on that, make sure you go and like our Facebook page, and there'll be additional information throughout the week. We're not talking just fun novelty cards like Rock, Paper, Scissors. We're talking Master Biomancer, Mox Opal, Deathrite Shaman, where's some other stuff? Green Sun Zenith.
I don't know why, but I was actually
Aurelia.
What Mox Opal did for just a moment there. I had like a little...
An old person, brain fart? Young kids would call it brain fart. Older people would call it a senior moment. So you have your options there. Also, if you want to help us out, it would do us a big favor by liking us on our various forms of social media, which you can do by clicking all the buttons that you're looking at right now. You can follow us on Twitch by clicking the follow button above and to the left of the video window if you haven't done so already. You'll get an email anytime our stream goes live, so if we do a Friday Night Magic, you obviously know when and where we'll be, but if we do something during the week, or we do like our Star City Games Invitational Qualifier coming up on a Saturday, it's a good reminder. It's a service I use for my other streams as well. Also on Twitter, at ZachSellsMagic. There's a recurring theme, I don't know if you've noticed, where everything is username ZachSellsMagic. Fun stuff throughout the week, news and whatnot, as well as round announcements during our FNM streams. Everything we've ever recorded is on YouTube at youtube.com/ZachSellsMagic, including 28 weeks now of archived footage. And then most importantly, head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic, or ZachSellsMagic.com will send you there as well for daily magic news, information about the stream, and just general good times to be had. And thanks, as always, to our boy Chaz Dragon Tamer in the chat for posting all of those links. If you're watching on YouTube, all those links are available in the bottom of the video description that you are currently watching. And for those watching on Twitch right now, there are buttons at the bottom of the page to do all of that stuff very easily. You can click to like, follow, and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a red cent to do any of that. And it is not inconsequential, the effect that it has on our stream in terms of being able to spread the
That's not nice for us to talk. I like
meeting people. I've said this more than 100 times probably in the history of this, is that most of the fun of doing this stream is meeting the people. Going to the events, meeting the people who've watched. I talked about when we went to Cincinnati for the Star City event. At least a half dozen people came up to me and said, "Hey man, I watch your videos on YouTube or I watch your stream." I'd never talked to them before. Yeah. That's on top of the 2 or 3 people that I had already planned on meeting there. So that's super awesome.
I mean, it's fun. It's neat.
Yeah, but believe me, I don't say this from a point of like feeling like I'm some kind of pseudo celebrity. That's not it at all. It's just fun to meet people who have a shared interest, who are serious about the game. So if you could help us out there with those forms of social media, it would be a big help. So we're back into game 2. Go ahead, Jordan.
I was just going to say to Kaliki Jiki, because it is very confusing when you see that. It's a little ritual he does where he tries to like get a better hand.
Are we talking about the Yu-Gi-Oh card and the little thing?
Yes.
That's just his thing. He also kept
a one-lander?
One-lander here.
I know he mulliganed.
And we have a blind flip on the Delver. So this game is likely going to be over quickly. So let's go ahead and go lay that out there. See if you might find a matchup that looks good for you for maybe a bonus feature match. Because this is, okay, so we do get to see, and with the duress in hand, we get to see Pillar of Flame come down. I saw a Snapcaster, I saw a Dreadbore, I think an Is It Charmed. It's a very sketchy keep there. And there's another Delver. So Adam in a very good spot here. Were you playing Magic when Delver was popular?
For a small amount of time.
You basically started right at the tail end of that.
Yeah, because I remember like the first FNM I ever came with. I brought a friend. We were both casuals, and we come in, and he sits down and we play like FNM for the night. And as we leave, he's like, "I'm never playing Magic again because I played this thing called Delver every single round." And he's like, "I don't understand what it is. I don't know why it's a thing, but I hate it." And I just never forget that story because my friend doesn't play Magic anymore just because of that one night. Not hating on Delver or anything. It's just a funny situation.
It's not nearly the deck that it used to be, but it is still a threat. So Chris finds his second land. Is It Charms the flip Delver. Adam is unable to flip his backup Delver, but he's applying some pressure with an Augur Bolus here. Why would you not think twice on your own turn and maybe hit a land?
Did he? So he laid the land. Okay.
He laid the land last turn. There's a turn in between there. But Adam also missing his third land drop until this turn. But obviously the Delver deck can afford to operate on 2 mana a lot easier than the control deck can.
I mean, I'm really disappointed in Vickers because there's no Dust Mantle Seer that's been played yet.
Not yet. We're going to see Counterflux, counter a Dreadbore.
I'm really happy to see that card getting played more too, because...
And there's an Is It Charm to flip the Augur Bolus. Adam has 20 spells in this deck. He has 22 spells, but 2 are Rune Chainer's Pikes, so it's a 20 spell deck. He's not playing Dimir Charm, which is an interesting choice, because that is the only Ponder style effect in the format. Thought Scour, targeting himself, looking for that 4th land. Isn't it the worst when you Thought Scour, the first card is the Pike?
Yeah. But you had to find a Guru Island.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys noticed, that is a Guru Island. That thing is worth like a smooth Andy.
Did he get that?
He got that when he was a kid. He tells the story all the time. He just went around the playground at school and got people to sign his paper and then sent it in and got a swamp and an island. Well, that's what it was designed for.
No, I just find it so funny because I imagine this kid being like, sign this paper? Like, what am I signing up for? Just don't ask questions, just sign the paper.
Signing your life away. So Chris, missing his 3rd land drop yet again, scoops in the face of the pressure.
How do you like it?
Do you want to go find just see who's available at this point? It's going to be tough, but yep. So it's yeah, go ahead. Kind of an unfortunate draw there for Chris, as his deck has a ton of ton of removal to deal with the Delver. But in Game 1, Adam had all the counter spells to protect his threats. And in Game 2, Chris kept a one-lander and could not get there. So Adam Vickers and his Grixis Delver deck heads to 3-1 on the night. And with the number of players that are here, possibly can draw into the top 8. We'll see. Chris drops to 2-2 and will need some help to sneak into the top 8. Jordan has stepped outside, and he is going to find us another feature match. As you do see, we have just under 30 minutes remaining in the round, so stay tuned here. We are going to have some more magic under the camera. It's just a matter of finding someone in between games to pull back in here. I do want to take this opportunity to thank, or not to thank necessarily, well, to thank as well, but to remind you guys to check out our partner websites over at the mtgnoob.com, a magic strategy and video site, trying to be the leading industry leader in Magic online gameplay videos. So regardless of what your format is, they've got coaching, strategy, and gameplay videos to watch. So head over there and thank those guys. Help support those who support our stream. Jordan's back here. We'll get to what match we have here in a second, but also want to take a break to give a shout out to our friends over at the South Florida Magic web stream. You can visit them at southfloridamagic.com. Not just a stream, but much like ourselves, has articles, videos, podcasts, a lot of content other than just the stream. Go to southfloridamagic.com for that. Their Twitch channel is twitch.tv/southfloridamagic. I particularly like these guys and gals for their Tuesday night Legacy stream. So here's an interesting thing about this week's Tuesday Night Legacy stream. I was watching and chatting in the stream with one Jacob Corey, who you might not know by name, but will know when I say that he was the guy who was piloting Tin Fins in that Star City, as well as renowned deck designer Caleb Durward. So there's a perfect excuse to watch that stream because friends of the stream just happen to be people you probably want to chat with about your deck.
The guy who made Tin Fins, from what I could see, he was very personable, like from all his games and the way he was acting.
Well, he did not make that deck. That deck's been around for a long time. It's just recently come to to the forefront. But Jacob Corey is a Legacy ringer, and he's a very nice guy. Can you please, don't tell me who this is. I'm going to try and guess based on looking at just their hands. This is, we are in round 4. This is Jonathan Wright versus Alec Myers. Like a boss.
Nail, you hit it right on the head.
Joe Nathan Wright. Funny.
What the?
He's playing.
Joe Nathan.
Shout out in the chat to our boy Michael Colazos, watching from Florida. He's been watching us since the very first month of streams. Good to see him watching from what is undoubtedly a much nicer climate. I was telling people earlier that we're going to experience a heat wave tomorrow, as we are getting up to 60 degrees.
Ooh.
My friend has already contacted me to see if I want to go play disc golf. And I said, call me in the morning. We'll see how I feel. Because my butt won't be into bed until 2 in the morning, because I do Imaginary Wizard Fight Web stream. So we got Jonathan Wright, who's obviously playing American Flash. That's the deck he's been piloting to great success over the last several months. Alec is playing what this week? Do you know?
Not a clue. I'm thinking he's playing zombies.
Black-White Zombies? No. Esper Control, right?
Yep, he's doing Esper Control.
Esper Control.
I mean, I make fun of him, but he has like 13 standard decks.
I think last week he played something different because some of their Alec's friends with some guys who go to school up at WU, and several hours away. So when they're in, there's a mutual card. Everyone swaps cards so they can play whatever they want and then swaps back later. Do you know who won the first game?
Not a clue. You want me to ask?
I bet Alec did. Alec Myers. Did you win game 1?
Yeah.
Okay. The control deck is so heavily favored in this game. It's not really funny because the Flash deck doesn't have enough control elements to be able to compete on the same basis. So it's very hard for it to force through threats. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the control deck has Drown Yards. So Jonathan has to be heavy on the Psychic Spiral plan. He has to get a lot of work out of those negates, and he has to hope those Geists are enough. He used to, we've talked about this a lot, when he was at Star City, he did finish top 32 with that deck, but at the time he was running Geist in his main deck, which is a very interesting choice because everyone came to that event, much like the Pro Tour, prepared to beat Boris Reckoner.
Yeah.
And Jonathan did as well. but also came without Boris Reckoners in his own deck. So people kept constantly losing to turn 3 guys. In the last 2 weeks, he switched over 2 Reckoners now that he has them.
Well, it's a nice meta call. Everyone preps for...
And he's moved the Geist to the sideboard because obviously the Geists are still super good in certain matchups, not necessarily great against every deck. So what's going on while they shuffle up? Let's take a quick stroll through the chat there. What do we got going on there?
Talking about tin fins.
People talking about tin fins. Do you know? Let's ask this question to the chat. Do you know where the name tin? Do you know the answers? Well, don't answer. Do you know, chat, where the name tin fins comes from? Of course, we're talking about a legacy deck, which showed up a couple months ago in a deck tech at Star City. I think Atlanta. Were they in Atlanta that week? I can't remember. But it gets second this past week at the one out in Vegas, the Star City Vegas. It is a legacy deck that uses Shallow Grave and Goryo's Vengeance to reanimate Griselbrand on turn 2 usually, sometimes turn 1, because it has Lotus Petals and Chrome Mox, and then uses basically Griselbrand is an old Yawgmoth's bargain to basically draw up to 20 cards and then kill you with Tendrils of Agony, which is a Storm card. It also has a weird interaction with the card from Time Spiral called Children of Corliss, which is a 1/1 for 1 white that says sacrifice Children of Corliss, gain life equal to the life you've lost this turn. So the fetch land you cracked to get your Underground Sea, there's 1. The 2 mana you played for Thoughtseize, there's another 2. And then all the 21 mana, the 14 life that you paid for Griselbrand draws, you get to draw again. So basically you draw your entire deck, and then you combo off with Tendrils. You also have an Emrakul, so sometimes you can just reanimate him. Yeah, reanimate him and go to work.
How does it get around the trigger off the shuffle?
I will explain just a second. I need to finish this tweet here, as I asked the stream a question, and then haven't had the stream chat window up on my screen to see if anyone answered. But it is a very good deck. It is not unbeatable by any means. It's just like the old Reanimator. Did anybody get it? Mystery Science Theater 3000 reference. You're in the right ballpark, but not correct. It gets around the trigger because both of those cards are instants. So you stack the reshuffle trigger and then reanimate it.
That I did not know there was reanimation spells that were instant speed.
Well, there are 2. Well, no, that's not. There's 2. There's a few. Most of them are sorcery, but those are the only 2 that are legacy viable. Are you monitoring the chat for Tin Fin's correct answer?
Yeah.
Well, more importantly, back here at the game, Jonathan resolved turn 3 Geist, and also has an Augur Bolus applying pressure.
If you like the way Alex is playing, he's got the verdict.
He has a clone.
Oh, hey! I like that. I like clone.
Does clone resolve is the question. Boros Charm won't work here. Well, the reason I say
it'll
that
resolve.
Yeah, the reason I say that is because he doesn't have a Boros Charm in his hand. It would normally beat a verdict here, but it will not beat the clone.
And then he just goes, Augur Bolus, and
I hear him calling for JB. I believe he is maybe going to ask if Boros Charm interacts with the Legend rule like that. I do not think that it does, because it's not a destroy effect. It is
just a sack or something weird?
It's I don't know exactly how the wording is, but I do not think the Legend rule eliminates the creatures in a way that indestructibility would save it. And that is the ruling from the judge, which means it is correct, which means he does not do that.
Because if you didn't know that I had the 1 charm. And they've given up. I think you all gave up. You're not going to even figure out what Tin Fins is.
Would you like to tell everyone what the Tin Fins reference is?
It's in reference to C-Lab 2021.
It is!
2021?
Yeah. Do you remember the exact details?
It's a movie in the show that is about a robotic shark.
Yes.
I mean, it's just a show.
The reason that the connection there is because there's an episode of that where one of the characters opens a restaurant called Gristlebees. so that's where the connection comes from. Griselbrand, also known as Gristlebee. So we see, more importantly here, we see Jonathan resolving Jace, Architect of Thought, draws him a card. Jonathan in a pretty good spot here.
And then you just charm for the win.
You can try to go for the win with the charm.
He's got 2, so...
He does have 2?
Yeah, so I mean, because he off the re-auger reveal, he got another one.
Does Jace Memory Adept read target draw a card, target player mills a card?
I think so. So I'm pretty sure his 2 abilities are target. Yeah.
So there we see Boros Charm for the win. Alec does respond with a negate, but Jonathan with a dispel gets in there and takes game 2. That was a pretty emphatic win. I would have to think that Alec's draw there a little bit under expectation since he does have Verdict. He does have. The fact he's playing Clone is pretty cool. So let's take a look here at our good friend Jace Memory Adept. Target player puts the top card of her library into his graveyard. Yeah. So Jonathan using it to extra effect, both to draw himself a card, but then also. Oh, why? Why did I do that? I have no idea. That was the opposite of what I wanted to do. I wanted to switch this screen over here so I could see the chats. But yeah, when you're playing the Snapcaster deck, obviously milling into your own graveyard has some value as well. So it's effectively drawing a card in half if you want to look at it like that. So good, we move to game 3 here. Let's hope it's a long, grindy, let's say 16-minute match.
I'd like a 30-second game.
30-second game?
I'd like one of them to get shot in the face. Like
Hallowed Fountain tapped. I concede. I can't beat Hallowed.
What if it's like that one game? I just wanted to see what you boarded in, bro.
Well, I'll tell you this: the strategic concession is not very good in Game 3. A lot better in Game 1 than in Game 3. You don't really
see that.
I mean, you could argue that you're keeping them off information for future games. I think it's really narrow. You probably just want to play it out. We are, of course, joking about earlier tonight. We mentioned how one round of the Pro Tour a few weeks ago, a player on camera did concede the first game in an unwinnable matchup, basically, just so his opponent wouldn't have any idea.
Well, I mean, you do have the situations where the person's not doing it because they want information. They're just not. They're a core Magic player who just wants to keep playing the game, or they think or sometimes they're delusional and think they can still win, even if you have them in a situation that's literally unwinnable from their position.
Question in the chat from Warren Marsh asking if American Flash is better versus aggro decks than Esper. I would say that it is, depending on which aggro deck you're talking about. It really struggles against the Esper deck. Like I said, Alec's draw there was just pretty non-interactive. The Geist of St. Trap that Jonathan sides in gives him some reach, but Alec is still playing Supreme Verdicts and Terminus.
I mean, with Alec, I guess the only thing is, I don't know if this deck has many win conditions that are quick. I don't know if it's just like one of the ones where it only has Drown Yards as the win.
He's playing Planeswalkers too.
Okay.
But no, I mean his deck is not some kind of like mid-range amalgamation. It is a hard control deck, okay. So he's not winning any game quickly. He's probably playing Obsidat because he loves Obsidat.
He also packs one of them every single time he opens.
Alec Myers is very good at opening Magic packs. I will say that. Yeah, he does love Obsidat, but it's also a very good card. And it's a very good card both in the as the high end for an aggressive deck, or a solid mid-range card, and then also very good in the control as your finisher.
Well, I mean, what I'm happy to see is that they made a legend that was playable in standard, or in constructed formats at all, I should say, because it's just really neat to me that one of the guild leaders is a thing right now, as opposed to not being a thing.
Yeah, the best thing that the American deck has going for it against the aggro decks is the fact that it's usually playing 3 to 4 Searing Spears, possibly Pillar of Flame depending on the build.
You can get Infinite Life still if that combo's still there.
But playing Snapcaster is huge.
Yeah.
Because you can block, you can snap back a removal spell. because like that Naya Blitz deck, it can't really beat that 2-for-1. So we move to game 3 here. Jonathan Wright very excited about Alex Mulligan.
They're fun people to watch on camera because they're enthusiastic. I'll give them that.
Alec has a good time playing Magic. Jonathan does too. But Jonathan much more reserved personality.
Well, the first time I ever spoke to Jonathan or
unless he's YOLO.
YOLO.
I'm going to give you a very funny story about the Wright brothers. So we went to Star City in Cincinnati. Jonathan did very well. He won $100. And Scotty, his brother, was at home because he couldn't make the trip. And so when we were going out to dinner after the event, Jonathan was talking to Scotty, talking about how he got it, and he's like, good job, whatever. Then Jonathan revealed to Scotty that he had sold a couple bonfires to get into the event, which Scotty was like, Jonathan, no, you didn't. then Garrett Meadows took Jonathan's phone and just typed in a text that said, YOLO. And it was the funniest thing that happened all weekend. Because Jonathan will never say YOLO in his life. He's not that kind of guy. But it's very funny. Yes, come in. Welcome, Logan.
Hello.
How are you doing? We're now joined by Logan Cutlip. Logan, how are you doing tonight?
I am 2-2.
Splitting the difference. Are you playing Naya?
Yeah.
Naya Blitz?
No, it's like Naya Blitz, but with a better in-game. I mean, it has those conscripts and earliest.
Do you know whose cookies those are, Logan?
They are Brandon.
I guessed right.
Not that I guessed right. That was the first one he'd have.
No, we had guessed earlier because they just appeared in this room.
But yeah, he left them here.
As once again the chat has devolved into an abuse of this icon that I believe is called Frankers the dog.
I love it.
I don't mind it, but it is very distracting when you look over and
I'm
there's
surprised they don't use salt. Like the salt shaker one, that one always gets me.
Let's talk a little bit about the game here. We're playing Draw Go for a while.
They're playing. I didn't know that.
We're resolving Restoration Angels in response to each other, which is kind of interesting here. The longer the game goes, the less pressure Jonathan has, the better Alec's chances of winning. There's the Geist. That, of course, is never going to resolve in that spot. I'm not sure I would run that out there. Liliana of the Veil, a complete blowout, as now Jonathan, unless he plays a creature here, is going to get Liliana locked. There's a D-Sphere on Liliana, a good answer. Not sure if it plays any in the main board anymore. He used to play one main, one side.
I mean, the big thing that's happening here is Jonathan's getting tapped out on his turn. Mm-hmm. Like the 2 turns.
Like every control deck. And that is the reason why a lot of those decks don't play. It's very funny. They just play Angels in response to each other when they're flashed down.
Whoa!
Ultimate price. Get in there.
She paid the ultimate price.
And this game could be over very quickly, as the majority of removal in Jonathan's deck is going to have a struggle beating Restoration Angels. Searing Spear only does 3. The Angels have 4 eyes. Uh-oh, there's a Poor Ring invasion now in the chat. Blind Obedience.
This is the best chat ever.
In response, Sphinxes, and Extort off the Dispel. And now Jonathan tries to figure out how he can not die. Facing down 6 power of flying creatures, and, an active Extort.
Yeah, like just...
As lopsided as Game 2 was, Game 3 has been comparably lopsided. And there you go.
Caught it.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan's not winning that matchup very often. It's not a good matchup for him at all. Both these guys were 2-2, but they were 2-1 going into that.
Yeah.
So Alec is 3-1 and still drawing live.
Oh, gotta win it in.
So mean.
Alec does have the worst tiebreakers, well, pretty bad tiebreakers for the 6s, so he's probably going to need to play this last round. And then Jonathan might be packing it in for the day.
Just packing it. Who is the
But
torch?
Huh?
Out of curiosity, do you know?
I don't
Who is the what?
Tortoise. The tortoise on the chat.
In the chat, is there a user whose name is the tortoise?
Yes.
I do not know.
Okay.
I know a lot of the guys in the chat, but I don't know all of them.
Who are you, tortoise?
Because he referred to me as Logan Greenwood Agro, so I was like...
Yes, you are, and actually, they're not watching tonight. I believe I saw Nicholas watching a little bit, but our Swedish contingent always likes to start. I don't know how it started, but there's a meme where every time you're on camera, they just type your name like someone was saying, like, Logan. I don't know why they do it. They also use, like, different vowel sounds, which is always fun, like Logan.
When I tell you about the new book, now here's the thing about the book, though. They actually gave some indicators about what's going to be in the new set, which is, like, why I would tell.
Look at I have a funny picture of my dog. Look at my dog's so cute. Look at my dog.
Is this a new one?
It was there last time you were in my house.
Oh, I know you got a new one.
It's
like in between.
I see what they're doing
in your house.
No, that was the one. It was there the time you came.
Really?
Yep. All right, so under 10 minutes to go. It's unlikely we're going to get another...
Commander, right now.
Unlikely we're going to get another feature match until the round is over. We'll go into round 5, the win and in round, and we should have some spicy ones drawn up for that. Let's take a second here while we've got everybody to remind everyone about our Star City Games Invitational Qualifier coming up Saturday, March 30th. That's a week after Grand Prix Pittsburgh, so go to Pittsburgh, get your sealed on, then the next week come down here to Charleston and get your standard on, with the possibility of winning $250 cold hard cash and an invite to any Stars.
I'm sorry.
Come on, guys. A chance to win an invite to any of the Star City Games Invitationals to be held this calendar year. You can win some packs. You can win some cool prizes. $25 entry. Standard is the format. And if you can't make it down, make sure you watch this all live that Saturday, twitch.tv/ZachSellsMagic. So let's get over here into the what's going on in the chat. That's something exciting. Something inappropriate.
Yeah,
Just troll.
it's just awful.
That is awesome.
Yeah, there are a lot of... So here's the thing. If you're watching live right now, this is going to seem silly, but I always take into consideration that we have, like, I don't know, I have almost 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Which is, firstly, let's talk about that for a second. So right now we've got, like, I don't know how many we have, but we're like just under, I think, 600 subscribers on, because this won't take into account people who've subscribed tonight. So we're between 550 and 600 subscribers on Twitch. It's pretty good, considering there are a lot of pros that don't even have that many. That doesn't mean more people watch us than watch the pros, but it just means more people have subscribed. I've told more people to subscribe. Twitter followers, I'm up to about 320. YouTube subscribers were just under, like, 800. And then Facebook likes were like between 450 and 500.
It's not bad.
Well, it's pretty cool because let's take into consideration some things. Number one is I'm not affiliated with the store in any way. So this is just me and the guys that are on the stream. We just have our silly little broadcast, and we've convinced basically, if you add everybody up and they're not overlap, several thousand people to commit to digital paper that they support our stream. So that's very cool. But for all of you on YouTube who are watching, first of all, I know that no one on YouTube watches past the first game of the first round anyway. They all watch like the first game and then like ADD hits in and they can't watch anymore. But what you can't tell is that in the chat right now, which you should be watching on twitch.tv sometime so you can check it out yourself, is that there is some kind of macro that Twitch has where if you type certain phrases, rather than it showing up as the text, it shows up as basically an emoticon, or some kind. It's a little icon. And now there's a lot of them going on. Last week it was invaded by, I believe it's called Frankers the Dog. There's pictures on our Facebook page, so make sure you go and check that out. I also don't mind when I talk to the camera, I do my hands like this, because first of all, you can't see most of it. This looks like I'm doing a Harlem Shake. And then, but now we're getting a large black man. We're getting some guy with glasses and a beard. We're getting another guy that looks like he's in...
I always think it's Daniel Duchovny. Is that this face?
Face? It looks like...
It
looks like fat David Duchovny.
I'm just like, why is that? This is why Twitch is a good thing.
Yeah, it's fun. I know that this is not like the greatest stream in the world. It's just a fun thing we like to do. But people seem to enjoy like coming, watching a little bit of Magic, but then also like goofing off in the chat. So I'm glad that we can. What is it? Which I did not yet do for the shop.
I assume they're referring to a Harlem Shake video.
Yeah, I have an idea. I want to do it.
30 people in this room.
I have two ideas for two separate videos, but I just need people and I need coordination. That will be my goal this week.
Is it a Harlem Shake video?
Yeah, I have two ideas.
You get people to pledge to it.
I think they're fun.
Did you build the one they were doing at Marshall Tuesday?
Ours was horrible. It was the dumbest thing ever.
Did you say for
I don't.
No, I watched. Here's why I'm saying this. When you're doing a meme or any internet video and you try to be creative in a good way that actually like is better than the original. Don't just like do little shoddy editing tricks to be like, because what they did is they completely went away from what the actual Harlem Shake videos are. And I was like, this isn't a Harlem Shake video anymore. You've just made a video of you dancing to that song. And I was like, okay.
Man, I tried to do a Frankers and I can't even do it.
No space. No space.
No space?
No space.
It's the internet. Spaces are.
Oh! I did my Frankers myself. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, fun fact for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
The Harlem Shake started in 1981.
Well, the Harlem Shake videos did not.
No, but the Harlem Shake.
The Harlem Shake did, and then I don't know what song.
It's Bowers. Harlem.
Yeah, but that's very old too. That clip is. But that song is old.
No.
The song is several years old, isn't it?
The song? I thought the song was new because Bauer is a fairly newish artist.
I mean, I know the original Harlem Shake, which is an actual like dance to. Like that's a very old like social thing. But I thought I thought even the Bauer track was a couple years old. I'm trying to bring up some fun pictures. Do I have Chat Invasion from last week?
Did you screenshot?
No, I have it. I just need to find it. I've got it. I can't remember who made it last week, but this was the one. This was basically a summary of what was last week. It's just, look at that. I think that is very, it's basically comparable quality level to the current stream that we're running. I do have some other fun memes that if you haven't watched the show before, and I apologize we don't have Magic right now, but we are under 5 minutes remaining in the round, so we'll get right back to that. But I do have an entire folder on my computer entitled Memes that I will now start piling through. See some fun ones that have come up. Most of them user-generated. This happened one time on stream.
Was this a caption contest?
I don't know what this was. This is the greatest night ever in a stream, or the worst night ever in a stream, as we see Max cradling Adam Vickers like a small child. And then what I love about this is my facial expression, where I'm very concerned with what's going on with those two, but not so much that there's someone in a helmet sitting right behind me. I'm fine with that. Let's see what else we've got here. Any requests? Let's see if we got any requests from the chat from regulars who want to see a cool someone's making fun of you.
Yeah, I'm a Mexican, apparently.
He referred to you as just the Asian, which I think is classic. Did you all see this? I posted on the stream this week. I got this email from YouTube this week.
The Abraham Lincoln one.
Someone's really interested in what you did for your wife last week, special-wise.
Abraham Lincoln has subscribed to me on YouTube.
But he's
Someone's
not
asking
saying
about,
vampires.
what are they asking about? My
Your
wife?
wife's birthday, if you didn't do anything special.
We had a little get together. We had some friends over to the house, hung out, imbibed some food and adult beverage,
Someone wants you to go home.
and then watched Jessica White Dance an Outlaw video. Have you all seen that?
Who's Jessica White?
Jessica White.
Oh, yeah. I know who Jessica White is.
Yes, I don't know who Jessica White is.
That's why I was like, that sounds...
I know who Jessica White is.
This is a fun thing from a few months ago. I was watching Star City Games Legacy coverage, and then this guy was there. Just like Mr. Monopoly back here in the background. Like, I don't know. They didn't address him at all. Like, no one mentioned that he was there. I was like, am I the only person seeing this? Mr. Monopoly was there at the Star City Games Legacy Tournament. This is a fun game. I like playing this.
Tell Nick to go away.
Is Nick Reed watching in the chat?
Yeah, he said, Logan, are you there, Logan? I don't like
Well,
that.
he has a lot of time to chat because he went 0-2 drop at this event. So here was a fun one back in the day when Scarlett Johansson visited. She had just got done filming Avengers. She stopped in here. She didn't play in the event. She was just hanging out.
Ranker's Cup.
She was rocking some trades.
She likes draft, right? Like that's her preferred.
Yeah, she's a limited player. She was just trying to get some trash. But what's interesting about this picture? Unfortunately, Megan and Brian Berger, who've played multiple times before, they've actually moved away. They now live in Maryland. It's very unfortunate. But I mean, it's good for them.
It's temporary, from what I heard. Like they will be back, not in it anytime soon. But
here's a very interesting thing. Check out old Zach Evans over there, in the early stages of the beard.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't bring that up, but
you should auction off your beard hair when you shave it off.
you know, I have thought about. They're doing some kind of beard growing contest for the University of Charleston, I think. And if there's some kind of like money for charity or something, I would consider it. This was a very fun one. Speaking of my wife, this was a
Speaking
this was
of
a
life,
class.
this is a fun
Some
thing.
girl.
Yeah, this one, some girl came, and we were
She
eating
brought
tacos. She did bring tacos. That was for the that was during the old Gate Crash pre-release that we watched, which was won by Alec Myers. Because again, on the strength of his being able to open obsidats in every pool, it's a good skill he
No,
has.
it's not even fair. Sunday when we came, I was gonna choose Warzone, but I decided against it, and then he got it, and he was right behind me in line.
I feel like I had a part in that one because I loaned him some money to get in on that, so I feel like I had the
Could probably
what else we got here? The very first, let's bring up the very first meme, of course. This is the original OG meme, which was, of course, created by, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Number one rated stream viewer, stream supporter, I should say. No offense to anyone else. We've got a lot of quality people, but only one person has made this sweet logo for me over here, which I've now plastered on everything. That right there. This is Veronica, who lives in Sweden. She did that funny 300 meme.
I've heard the Swedes are nice people.
Hmm?
You can almost say that they're sweet.
So, chat regular Spike Mo in the chat. He brings up an interesting point. He says the verdict is still out on the Cool Ranch Dorito, Loco Taco. I'm gonna be honest with everyone here. There's basically a 90% chance that I'm going to eat some of those before I go to bed tonight. Because if we don't go to IHOP, I usually hit Taco Bell on the way home, which is literally, and I'm not using hyperbole here, it's literally the worst thing you can do. Well, I'm about an hour away from going to bed. Let me go ahead and load up on food and make sure that food is barely food because I got it from the Taco Bell.
When did they make Cool Ranch Locos Tacos?
It's like just this week. Yeah, it's like
Really?
it just
Okay.
came out.
I've never had either of the burritos, Locos Tacos.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, there was also a
like
question.
excited.
I tried to keep.
The new Mountain Days?
Uh-oh.
What are your favorite Lego?
Quantum Prophecy totally zinged us with a dagger. Do people actually play Magic on this stream, or is it just going to be three nerds sitting in a room all night? Very clever to call us nerds. One of I'd say the harshest daggers we've ever received here. But in a surprise move by Magic tournaments, they aren't playing Magic under the feature match literally every minute of the 6.5-hour broadcast. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Did you watch last week while Osip and Cedric Phillips on
It was the best thing
It's like 35 minutes of them just sitting talking because the blue-white player is taking his good sweet time to win a game, and it's boring, so somebody's got to talk.
I mean, they had some
We
goals.
did move, I don't know if you were here earlier, when we did move two people from their table and say, hey, our other match finished early, can you go move and play the rest of your match under there? We do what we can, but sometimes it's going to be those three nerds in here.
Some competitive rock, paper, scissors going on.
Or Flarg talking about Whataburgers where he goes after every FNM. That's a good choice. That, of course, is more of a... Yes, but that's more of a Southern and Midwest-based franchise. Not have locally. In-N-Out Burger would be the number one choice, but that is almost exclusively on the West Coast. We do not get that. The question earlier, I did want to mention, if he's still watching, Cool Kid 1212 asked, what is my favorite Legacy deck? That, of course, is a good question for the stream for dedicated fans who've been watching these three nerds for a long time. Should be able to tell you what my favorite Legacy deck is, or at least my favorite Legacy archetype.
Wait.
Well, the 15th Lieber suggested my favorite deck is that dog that they keep putting up there, which is funny.
It's a very good choice.
But after getting me with the joke, he did get the correct answer, which is a show and tell or sneak and show. Although the shark is Jeremy Bales and doesn't count because he's here at the store. He comes to the store.
Someone
People
wishes
don't know.
they lived in America? That's weird. You don't want to live here.
What is that? What is this? An anti-patriotic statement from Logan the Communist Cutlip over here.
I'm not a communist, socialist.
You're so
Jeez.
like it's that much.
You're like 14 years old. Come on now. But anyway, so we're very close. They just called time in the round. We will be moving to round 5 here shortly, which is, of course, the win and in rounds. Let's look at some people who are potentially on the bubble. We've got... you're 2-2, so you're effectively out. I don't think a 3-2 is going to make it this week. Maybe 1, but it'll be tough. Looks like... I don't know who won between Brandon Hart and Aaron Daly. Do you know, Logan, who won that one?
Nope.
Okay.
I feel like Brandon did.
I'm feeling like Brandon did too.
So Alec Wright is on 3-1. He needs to win to make it into the top, likely. Brandon Gibbs on blue-white aggro. Adam Vickers, who we just saw playing Grixis Delver, he's on 3 wins and a loss. We've also got John Gruel aggro, Boros aggro.
Is there no 5-color anymore? Like, is there no 5-color deck in existence right now?
There is not.
No.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of 4-color decks, and I think there are some decks that play all 5 colors, but none of these 5-color decks or 4-color decks are anything like the 4 and 5-color decks of old formats, like the Vivid Control decks that were like honest-to-goodness 5-color decks. Like there were decks that were trying to play They're playing Cryptic Command, but also playing like Broodmate Dragon and Cruel Ultimatum. Like that is a 5-color deck when you're playing Wall of Reverence. Huh?
I was just going to reference that someone asked about the North Korean nukes and asked me. And I was just going to mention, I don't know if anyone knows this or not, like, have you all heard that, like, apparently North Korea, like, their nukes, I wasn't going to go to the statement, but, like, their nukes actually can't even go across the ocean?
Yes,
they can.
They can't. Like, they actually...
Yes, they can.
They don't have the technology for them to survive across the ocean.
They did blow one up underground, I saw. So,
yes, I still need to say that. Sorry.
So here we have the interesting situation where the undefeateds from last round have already started drawing in. They can double draw into the top 8. So Garrett Meadows on Junk mid-range, Cliff Markham on Jund mid-range, Mitch Estep on Junk Good Stuff, and Max Turner on Junk Reanimator. So 3 out of 4 decks already locked up in the top 8 are Junk decks. But here are your win-in games. We've got Adam Vickers and J.B. Roberts. We've got Brandon Gibbs playing Blue-White Control against Alec Myers. We've got Ryan Carruthers versus Brandon Hart. Do either of you guys know who Ryan Carruthers is?
I think I have an idea of what he looks like.
Does one of you want to go step outside and see if they would play on camera?
Ryan and
Just
Brandon.
a 4-way game between all the people.
And
if-
Ryan and Brandon. And if not, just ask Alec and Brandon Gibbs.
Sure.
So,
Yes, anything that has... Hold on.
what's the question?
They asked if I need Senate cards, and I'll show them real quick.
Just using my chat for your personal gain.
Anything like these that have Simic watermarks.
Jordan collects foil Simic cards. So if you're going to be at if you're going to be at the World Magic Qualifier, if you're going to be at Grand Prix Pittsburgh and you have some that you would like to donate to Jordan, just get in touch with me.
And I will say, you don't have to just donate. I will trade for these things.